The encounter. In the vastness of space, a sleek spaceship glided silently through the stars. It was the royal ship of Verithia, home to the alien princess, Kalia. Verithia was known for its advanced technology and powerful beings, but its beauty was often overshadowed by the ruthlessness of its leaders. Kalia, with her shimmering silver skin and glowing emerald eyes, was different. She had always dreamed of exploring new worlds and understanding the creatures that inhabited them. Kalia's mission was clear: gather intelligence on Earth, a small blue planet in a distant solar system. The Council of Verithia had decided that Earth was ripe for conquest, but Kalia felt uneasy about the idea of invasion. She wanted to learn about humans, not destroy them. With a heavy heart, she entered the atmosphere of Earth, her ship cloaked from human eyes. As she descended, the vibrant greens and blues of the planet filled her view. She landed in a secluded forest, where towering trees whispered secrets in the wind. Stepping out of her ship, Kalia took a deep breath of the Earth's air, which smelled of pine and fresh rain. It was different from the sterile atmosphere of Verithia. Here, she felt a sense of freedom, a strange pull toward the unknown. Kalia wandered through the forest, marveling at the beauty around her. The chirping of birds and the rustling of leaves created a symphony of sounds she had never experienced before. She felt a mix of excitement and apprehension. Would the humans be as advanced as her people, or were they primitive beings? What would she discover here? After some time, Kalia came across a clearing where a small lake shimmered under the sun. She knelt by the water, mesmerized by her reflection. Suddenly, a splash broke the serene moment. Startled, she looked up to see a human boy, around her age, emerging from the water, droplets glistening on his tanned skin. "Hey, who are you?" Jake asked, his eyes wide with surprise. He had been swimming and was not expecting to find anyone else in this secluded spot. Kalia's heart raced. This was her first encounter with a human. Kalia stood up, her elegant figure contrasting with the boy's casual attire. "I am Kalia of Verithia," she said, her voice steady but gentle. She had practiced this introduction, though she never expected to use it. Jake blinked in confusion. "Verithia? Never heard of it. Is that a new band or something?" His casual demeanor made Kalia smile. She could see that he was not afraid of her, despite the differences between them. "I come from a distant world," she explained, trying to keep her words simple. "I am here to learn about humans." "Learn about humans?" Jake repeated, intrigued. "What do you want to know?" Kalia hesitated. She had come to gather information for an invasion, but her heart told her she wanted to understand humans better. "Everything," she said softly. "Your culture, your ways, your emotions." Jake raised an eyebrow. "Emotions? You mean like happiness and sadness? Isn't that what everyone feels?" Kalia shook her head. "Not everyone understands them as you do. On Verithia, we are trained to suppress emotions. They are seen as weaknesses." Jake frowned, contemplating her words. "That sounds rough. Emotions make life interesting. Without them, it would be, well, pretty boring." Kalia felt a spark of connection with him. "You find interest in emotions. How?" Jake shrugged, sitting down on the grass. "Well, like right now. I'm curious about you. I mean, an alien princess. That's pretty cool. But I'm also kinda nervous. I don't know what you want." Kalia joined him on the grass, feeling more at ease. "I want to learn about you, Jake. Teach me." For hours, they talked. Jake shared stories about Earth, its diverse cultures, the beauty of art, the complexity of human relationships, and the pain of loss. Kalia listened intently, absorbing every word. She realized that humans were not just primitive beings. They were deeply complex and fascinating. As the sun began to set, casting a warm golden light over the forest, Kalia felt an overwhelming sense of peace. She had never expected to connect with a human so deeply. It was as if they were two pieces of a puzzle that fit together perfectly. I should return to my ship soon, Kalia said reluctantly. But I do not wish to leave. Stay a little longer, Jake urged. You can't just disappear after sharing all this cool stuff. We've got to know each other better. Kalia smiled, her heart fluttering at his words. Okay, just a little longer. As they talked, Kalia felt a warmth growing inside her. It was something she had never felt before, a sense of belonging. But deep down, she also remembered her mission and the gravity of her responsibilities back home. Jake looked at her, his blue eyes filled with curiosity. So, what do you think about Earth? Is it really that different from Verathia? Kalia hesitated, trying to find the right words. It is different, but I feel something here. Something good. Jake smiled back at her. Then maybe you should come back. You can visit any time you want. As the stars began to twinkle above them, Kalia felt a mix of joy and fear. She knew that her mission was not yet over, and her heart was beginning to pull her in two directions, one towards her duty as a princess and the other towards her unexpected feelings for this human boy. In that moment, as they sat together under the vast sky, Kalia realized that her life was about to change forever. Little did she know, the bond they were forming would lead to unimaginable consequences for both their worlds. The decision. As the stars sparkled above, Kalia felt the weight of her dual existence pressing upon her. She had come to Earth on a mission for Verathia, to gather intelligence for a potential invasion. But now, sitting beside Jake, the human boy who had welcomed her with open arms, she felt torn. Her heart was beginning to drift towards this world she had once viewed as a target. Jake, she said softly, breaking the comfortable silence that had enveloped them. I need to tell you something important. Jake turned to her, his expression serious. What is it, Kalia? You can tell me anything. Taking a deep breath, Kalia steeled herself. I didn't come here just to learn about humans. I was sent to assess the Earth for my people. They believe it is a prime target for conquest. Jake's eyes widened, and the atmosphere shifted from light-hearted to heavy. Conquest. You mean, invade? Kalia nodded, her heart sinking. Yes, my council believes that Earth poses a threat to Verathia's supremacy. They want to take control of your resources, your technology. I didn't know this when I came, but now. Her voice faltered, filled with regret. Jake's expression turned serious. And you don't want that? No, Kalia exclaimed, her emerald eyes shining with determination. After meeting you, I can't imagine bringing harm to your world. You've shown me kindness, curiosity, and the beauty of your emotions. I cannot betray that. Jake leaned back on the grass, his thoughts racing. But if you don't report back, what will happen to you? They might see you as a traitor. I know, Kalia said, her voice barely above a whisper. But I also know I can't go back to Verathia and pretend I haven't seen the truth. Earth is not what they think it is. It's a vibrant world full of life and love. Jake looked thoughtful, his brow furrowed. So, what do you plan to do? You can't just stay here forever, can you? Kalia sighed, her heart heavy with the burden of her choice. I must make a decision. I could warn Earth of the impending danger, but that would mean risking my life. If the council finds out, they might come for me too. Jake sat up, his determination growing. What if we come up with a plan together? I mean, we could find a way to convince your council not to invade. Show them that Earth isn't a threat but an ally. Kalia's heart raced at his suggestion. You would help me, even knowing the risks. Of course, Jake replied passionately. You're my friend. Besides, it sounds like your council is making a big mistake. They need to see the real Earth, not just a resource to exploit. Kalia felt a warmth in her chest at his words. She had never had a friend like Jake before, someone who believed in her and was willing to stand by her side. Okay, I will do it. I will find a way to warn Earth and stop the invasion. As they talked, the sun began to rise, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink. Kalia and Jake felt a sense of urgency growing within them. They needed to act quickly before the Council's plans came to fruition. "I have to return to my ship," Kalia said, a mix of reluctance and resolve in her voice. "I need to gather more information about the Council's plans. I must know how much time we have." Jake nodded, his expression serious. "And I'll help you in any way I can. Just tell me what you need." Kalia stood, feeling the soft grass beneath her feet. "I'll need your help to learn about your technology. I need to communicate with Earth without my ship being detected. If they discover me, it could ruin everything." "Let's head to my house," Jake suggested, his excitement returning. "I have some old computer equipment that might help. We can work together." Kalia smiled, her heart swelling with hope. "Thank you, Jake. I can't do this without you." As they made their way through the forest, Kalia glanced back at her ship, hidden among the trees. The vessel that had once felt like a home now seemed like a prison. She longed for freedom, not just for herself, but for Earth and all its inhabitants. They reached Jake's house, a modest structure surrounded by a garden blooming with flowers. Jake led Kalia inside, and she marveled at the warmth and comfort of his home. It felt alive, filled with laughter and love, everything she had yearned for in her own life. Jake rushed to his room, pulling out old gadgets and computer parts. "I've got a few things here. We can connect them and try to send a message to Earth. If we can find someone who can help, maybe we can convince your council to change their minds." Kalia watched him work, amazed at how easily he navigated the technology. "You're incredible, Jake. I can't believe you want to help me so much." He paused and looked at her, a serious expression on his face. "You deserve to be free, Kalia. No one should have to live under the threat of destruction, especially not someone as kind as you." Her heart fluttered at his words. In that moment, Kalia realized she was no longer just an alien princess on a mission. She was a protector of this world and the friendships she was forging. As they worked tirelessly, Kalia's resolve grew stronger. She would fight for Earth and for her newfound friend. Little did they know that their efforts would lead to an extraordinary adventure, testing their courage and their hearts as they faced the challenges ahead. The sun shone brightly outside, illuminating their path as they prepared to change the fate of two worlds forever. "You said." The warning. Days turned into nights as Kalia and Jake worked tirelessly in his room, piecing together old computer parts and technology. Their goal was to send a warning to Earth about the impending invasion, and with each passing moment, their determination only grew stronger. One evening, while they were deep in discussion, Kalia said, "We need to create a message that will convince Earth's leaders to take action. It has to be powerful and urgent." Jake nodded, a determined look in his eyes. "We can explain everything. The threat, the alien council's intentions, and how they need to prepare. But we have to find a way to make it sound credible. People won't easily believe a story like ours." Kalia considered this. "What if we included evidence? I can download information from my ship's systems, maps, troop movements, anything that shows what they're planning. That might make them listen." "Great idea," Jake replied, his excitement contagious. "But we have to be careful. If your council detects any activity from your ship, they'll know something is wrong." Kalia felt a knot of anxiety in her stomach. "I know. I'll have to be quick and discreet. If they find out I'm communicating with Earth, it could be dangerous for both of us." With a plan in mind, Kalia decided to take a risk. That night, while the world outside slept, she slipped out of Jake's house, her heart pounding with the thrill of what she was about to do. She made her way to her hidden ship, tucked away in the forest. The moonlight cast eerie shadows, and every rustle in the bushes made her heart race. Once she reached the ship, Kalia used her wrist device to unlock the door. The familiar hum of the ship greeted her, and she felt a sense of comfort wash over her. This was still a part of her, even if it no longer felt like home. Inside, she hurried to the control panel, her fingers dancing over the controls. She began downloading data, her heart pounding with anticipation. Maps of Earth, troop formations, and strategic plans began to fill her device. Each piece of information felt like a lifeline to the humans she was now trying to protect. Suddenly, a warning light flashed on the control panel, causing Kalia's heart to drop. Unauthorized access detected, the computer voice announced. Panic set in as she realized her time was running out. Come on, come on, she urged the ship, her fingers flying across the controls to finish the download. Just as she completed the transfer, another alert blared. Warning, Council ship approaching. Kalia's heart raced as she grabbed the data and fled the ship. She knew she had to return to Jake before the Council found her. As she sprinted through the woods, fear gripped her. If they caught her, it would mean certain doom, not just for her, but for Earth as well. Breathing heavily, she finally reached Jake's house, her mind racing. She slipped inside and found Jake asleep on his desk, surrounded by scattered papers and computer parts. Jake, wake up, she hissed, shaking him gently. He stirred, eyes wide with concern. Kalia, what happened? I got the data, she exclaimed, her voice barely above a whisper. But the Council is on their way. We need to send the warning now, or it might be too late. Jake jumped up, his expression shifting from groggy to alert. Let's do this. What do we need? Connect the equipment. We have to send a secure transmission to Earth. Kalia instructed, her mind racing with urgency. Together, they began setting up the system, their hearts pounding with the weight of what they were about to attempt. With each passing moment, they felt the tension in the air grow thicker. Kalia knew the Council would stop at nothing to find her, and she needed to be fast. We have to make sure the message is encrypted, she said as Jake worked diligently at his desk. If they trace it back, we'll be in serious trouble. Got it. I'm almost finished, Jake replied, his fingers moving quickly. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, he announced, it's ready. We can send the message whenever you're ready. Kalia took a deep breath, her heart pounding. Okay, let's do this. As they prepared to send the message, Kalia thought of everything that was at stake. The lives of countless humans depended on this moment. Are you ready? She asked, looking into Jake's eyes. More than ever, he replied, a determined look on his face. Kalia pressed the button, and the transmission began. They watched the screen as their message was sent, each second feeling like a lifetime. The data they had gathered flickered across the screen, images and maps that would reveal the Council's intentions. Suddenly, an alarm blared from the computer, causing both of them to jump. Warning, Council ship has entered Earth's atmosphere. Kalia's heart sank. They're here. We have to finish this quickly. With renewed urgency, they watched as the data transmitted successfully. Just as the last piece of information was sent, the door to Jake's room burst open, and they heard footsteps approaching. Kalia's heart raced as she turned to Jake. Hide. We can't let them find us. Jake nodded and quickly ducked under the desk, his eyes wide with fear. Kalia pressed herself against the wall, her breath coming in quick gasps as she listened to the footsteps drawing closer. The door swung open, revealing a group of alien guards clad in dark armor, their eyes scanning the room. Kalia held her breath, praying they wouldn't find her. Search the area, one of the guards commanded, and Kalia's heart raced. She could hear Jake's quiet breathing beneath the desk, and she hoped he would stay hidden. The guards moved about the room, their voices low as they searched. Kalia felt a mix of fear and determination. She had to protect Jake and ensure their message had gone through. Suddenly, one of the guards approached the computer, and Kalia's heart dropped. The transmission. They sent something, he exclaimed. No, Kalia whispered, her mind racing. She had to act fast. In a burst of courage, Kalia stepped out from her hiding place, her eyes fierce. You won't take him, she shouted, standing protectively in front of Jake. The guards turned, surprise etched on their faces. You betrayed the Council, one of them shouted, advancing towards her. Kalia stood her ground, her heart pounding. "I may have betrayed the Council, but I will protect Earth and its people at all costs." The guards paused, confusion flickering in their eyes. Kalia seized the moment, her voice steady and strong. "You don't have to follow their orders. You can choose to fight for what is right. Help us save Earth instead of destroying it." The guards exchanged glances, uncertainty creeping into their expressions. Kalia felt a glimmer of hope as she stood tall, ready to fight for her newfound friends. But just as the tension reached its peak, a bright light filled the room, and a figure appeared, clad in the royal attire of Verethia. It was the council leader, Kalia's father, his expression grim. "Kalia," he boomed, his voice echoing in the small room. "You've made a grave mistake." The room went silent as everyone turned to face him, and Kalia's heart sank. She had hoped to avoid this confrontation, but now it seemed inevitable. "Father," Kalia said, her voice steady despite the fear coursing through her, "I won't let you destroy Earth. This is not the way." The council leader's eyes narrowed. "You have chosen your side, Kalia. You will face the consequences of your betrayal." As tension filled the air, Kalia realized this was just the beginning of a battle that would change everything. With Jake by her side, she was ready to fight for what was right, no matter the cost. Little did they know, the fate of two worlds hung in the balance. The reckoning. As Kalia faced her father, the council leader, the tension in the room was palpable. Jake remained hidden under the desk, his heart racing with fear for both Kalia and the Earth he had grown to love. The stakes had never been higher, and the impending confrontation felt like a storm ready to break. "Kalia," her father began, his voice booming and authoritative, "you've betrayed your own kind. You dare to stand with these humans against our council. You are putting your entire world at risk. I am trying to save it." Kalia shot back, her voice steady despite the weight of her father's gaze. "You can't just destroy Earth because of a misunderstanding. There are lives at stake here." Her father's expression hardened. "The Council has decided. Earth is a threat, and we will not allow it to challenge Verethia. You are too blinded by your emotions to see the truth." Kalia felt a rush of anger. "You're wrong. The Council is wrong. You're willing to sacrifice countless innocent lives for your pride." The guards stood at attention, watching the exchange with a mix of confusion and uncertainty. Kalia could sense that not all of them agreed with the Council's harsh stance. Perhaps there was still a chance to turn them to her side. "Father," she pleaded, "please listen to me. I have seen humanity's strength. They are not our enemies. We can work together to face greater threats. The Council has lost sight of what truly matters." At that moment, the guard closest to the computer spoke up, his voice shaky. "But Commander, what if she's right? We've only heard one side of the story." The council leader turned to the guard, his brow furrowed. "You dare question the council's decision? Your loyalty should not waver because of a few emotional words." Kalia seized the opportunity. "What if I showed you? I have evidence from my ship. We can communicate with Earth and prove that the Council's fears are unfounded." The council leader hesitated, the weight of Kalia's words hanging in the air. "You think you can change the minds of the Council with mere words?" He scoffed. "I don't just want to talk. I want to show you the truth," Kalia replied, her determination shining through. "Let me send a message to Earth. If they respond, you will see for yourself the kind of people they really are." The council leader's eyes narrowed. "And if I refuse?" Kalia straightened her posture, summoning all her courage. "Then you will be responsible for the destruction of two worlds. You will have to live with that choice." Her father's expression shifted, uncertainty creeping into his demeanor. The guard who had spoken before looked to his comrades, and Kalia saw flickers of doubt in their eyes as well. "Fine," the council leader said, his tone begrudging. "But if you fail, the consequences will be severe." With a nod, Kalia rushed to the control panel, her heart pounding. She quickly set up the communication system, her fingers flying over the controls. As she worked, Jake finally emerged from under the desk, his expression a mix of relief and concern. "Are you okay?" he whispered, his eyes darting between Kalia and the council leader. "I'm fine, but we need to hurry," she replied, her focus unwavering. "I'm sending the message now." The room fell silent as Kalia initiated the transmission. The screen flickered to life, displaying a secure line to Earth. "This is Kalia of Verithia, calling for an emergency transmission," she stated, her voice steady despite the stakes. The minutes felt like hours as they waited for a response. Kalia could feel her father's eyes burning into her, a mix of anger and concern. Jake stood beside her, ready to support her in any way he could. Finally, the screen lit up and a figure appeared. An official from Earth, looking both surprised and cautious. "This is Commander Harris of Earth. Who am I speaking with?" Kalia took a deep breath, ready to explain everything. "Commander Harris, I am Kalia, an alien princess from Verithia. We are in grave danger, and I need you to listen carefully." The commander's eyebrows furrowed, skepticism evident on his face. "An alien princess? Why should we trust you?" "Because I am here to warn you," she replied urgently. "The Council of my world plans to invade Earth based on misinformation and fear. I have evidence of their plans, and I need you to understand the truth before it's too late." Commander Harris glanced at his colleagues, who exchanged unsure looks. "Do you have proof?" Kalia nodded, feeling the weight of their gazes. "Yes, I can send you maps and data detailing the Council's military strategy. We need your help to stop this before it escalates." As she transmitted the files, she noticed her father's jaw clench in anger. "You are making a mistake, Kalia," he warned, his voice low and threatening. Ignoring him, she continued, "Commander, I know this is hard to believe, but I have seen the strength of humanity. Together, we can find a solution that benefits both our worlds." The commander scrutinized her, his expression unreadable. "If what you say is true, we need more than just words. We need a plan to counteract the Council's actions." Kalia's heart raced. "We can work together. I can give you insights into their strategies, and in return, I ask for your assistance in preventing the invasion. We can establish an alliance, one built on trust." A tense silence filled the room as the commander contemplated her proposal. "This is a risky move, and I'll need to consult with the higher authorities. But if what you're saying is true, we have no choice but to act." "I understand," Kalia replied, a sense of hope igniting within her. "But please, do not take too long. Every moment counts." As the transmission ended, the weight of their discussion settled heavily in the air. Kalia turned to her father, her eyes fierce. "You see, father, there's still hope. We can stop this if you let me." He looked at her, torn between his duty to the Council and the bond he felt for his daughter. "You've defied the Council, Kalia. This isn't just about you anymore." "I know, but we can change things," she said, desperation creeping into her voice. "Together, we can create a future that doesn't involve destruction." The guards watched in silence, their expressions reflecting a mix of doubt and curiosity. Kalia realized that this was just the beginning of a much larger battle, one that would determine the fate of two worlds. As the council leader contemplated her words, the urgency of the situation pressed heavily upon them all. Kalia understood that time was running out, and the choice her father made now could change everything. With hope and determination, she prepared for the challenges ahead, ready to fight for what was right, no matter the cost. The gathering storm. As Kalia stepped away from the council chamber, her heart was still racing from the tense confrontation with her father. She had managed to send the warning to Earth, but the battle was far from over. The council's response would come soon, and she knew that they would not take her defiance lightly. Jake followed closely behind her, a worried expression etched on his face. "What do you think they'll do?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Kalia glanced back at him, trying to project confidence. "I don't know, but we have to prepare for the worst. The Council may retaliate against me for standing up to them. They made their way to the ship's control room, where a team of loyal Verathian guards awaited her orders. Kalia had always trusted these guards, knowing that some shared her vision for peace between their worlds. She turned to them, determination flickering in her eyes. "We have a crisis on our hands," she declared. "The Council intends to invade Earth based on lies and fear, but I have sent a message to their leaders, and we may have a chance to avert this disaster." The guards exchanged glances, unsure of how to respond. One stepped forward, a tall figure with bright blue skin and striking yellow eyes. "Princess, if we defy the Council, we risk our lives. They will not hesitate to strike us down." "I understand," Kalia replied, her voice steady. "But if we do nothing, we risk losing everything. We cannot let our worlds be destroyed by misunderstandings." The guards nodded, their resolve slowly strengthening. "What do you need us to do?" the same guard asked, his loyalty evident. "We need to gather intel on the Council's plans. I suspect they are preparing to mobilize their fleet. If we can find out when and where, we might be able to intervene before it's too late." As Kalia spoke, Jake felt a sense of purpose wash over him. "I can help," he offered, stepping forward. "I may not be from your world, but I know Earth's technology. Maybe we can combine our knowledge." Kalia smiled at him, grateful for his support. "That's a great idea. Together, we can create a strategy that protects both our worlds." With newfound determination, the group began to work together. They gathered around the main control panel, where Kalia input commands to access the Council's surveillance systems. She knew there were risks involved in hacking into their networks, but she needed to understand their intentions. As the screen flickered to life, Kalia's heart raced. Images of the Council chambers appeared, and she could see her father pacing back and forth, deep in discussion with other Council members. Their voices echoed through the ship, allowing her to listen in on their plans. "They will attack within 3 days," her father's voice rang clear, filled with authority. "We cannot afford to let these humans continue to exist. We must show them the strength of Verethia." Kalia's stomach twisted in knots. She had to act quickly. "They're planning an invasion sooner than I thought," she whispered urgently to Jake and the guards. "We have to warn Earth immediately." Before they could make their move, an alarm suddenly blared throughout the ship, the lights flashing red. The guards jumped to attention, their training kicking in as they prepared for an emergency. "What's happening?" Kalia shouted, her heart racing as she scanned the control panel for answers. "Unauthorized access detected," a robotic voice declared. "Intruders in the control room." Panic surged through Kalia as she realized that the Council had discovered her actions. "We need to secure the data we collected and get out of here," she commanded. Jake hurried to assist her, quickly saving the critical files that contained information about the Council's plans. The guards took positions near the door, ready to defend their princess against any intruders. Moments later, the doors burst open, revealing a squad of armed Verethian guards loyal to the Council. "Stop right there," one shouted, leveling his weapon at Kalia and her group. Kalia's heart raced as she raised her hands in a gesture of peace. "Wait, we're not your enemies," she pleaded. "We're trying to save Earth from destruction." "Save it? You've betrayed the Council," another guard shouted, advancing toward her. "You will be taken into custody for your treason. Please, listen to me," Kalia cried, desperation filling her voice. "The Council is wrong. They want to destroy Earth without understanding what is at stake. If you turn against us, you will be responsible for the deaths of countless innocents." The guards hesitated, uncertainty flickering in their eyes. Kalia seized the moment. "You know deep down this isn't right. We can stand together and fight against the Council's tyranny." Just as the tension reached its peak, a voice from behind the guard spoke up. "Stand down." It was the guard who had been supportive earlier, the one with bright blue skin. "We must hear her out. If what she says is true, we cannot blindly follow the Council's orders." Kalia's heart raced with hope as the other guards exchanged uncertain looks. "Yes," she urged, "if we work together, we can find a way to stop this invasion and save both our worlds." The Council loyalists hesitated, clearly torn between duty and conscience. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the leading guard lowered his weapon. "All right, let's hear her out," he said, glancing at his comrades. Kalia quickly gathered her thoughts. "We need to send a message to Earth immediately. I've already started communicating with Commander Harris. If we can work together, we can prepare a defense and prevent this war." With that, the atmosphere in the room shifted. The guards who had once been ready to capture her now seemed willing to listen. The momentum was shifting in Kalia's favor, but she knew that the path ahead would still be filled with danger. As they began to coordinate their efforts, a sense of unity blossomed within the group. Kalia realized that they had a chance, not just to save Earth, but to reshape the future of Verithia as well. But even as hope blossomed, Kalia understood that time was running out. The Council would not hesitate to act on their destructive plans. They had to move quickly, gathering their resources and preparing to stand against the impending storm. In that moment, Kalia felt the weight of her responsibilities more than ever. She was not just fighting for herself or for Jake. She was fighting for the future of both worlds. The gathering storm was upon them, but she would not back down. She was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The final stand. The time had come for Kalia and her allies to face the Council. With the intel they had gathered, they had devised a plan to intercept the Council's fleet before it reached Earth. The atmosphere aboard the ship was thick with anticipation, every crew member aware that the fate of both worlds rested on their shoulders. As they approached the designated battle zone, Kalia stood at the command console, her heart pounding. Jake was by her side, studying the tactical display. The Council's fleet was enormous dark shapes, blotting out the stars as they loomed closer. "Are you ready?" Jake asked, his voice steady but filled with concern. Kalia nodded, taking a deep breath. "We must be strong. Remember, we fight not just for ourselves, but for everyone on Earth and Verithia. We can do this together." The Verithian guards, standing at attention, exchanged determined glances. They had trained for this moment, and the time for action had arrived. "Commander Harris has positioned Earth's ships alongside ours," Kalia explained. "We have a united front, and we need to hold our ground." As they entered the battle zone, alarms blared across the ship, and a series of red warning lights flashed. The Council's fleet had detected their presence. "Prepare for engagement," Kalia commanded, her voice cutting through the tension. The crew sprang into action, moving with precision. Fighters launched from the ship, racing ahead to engage the enemy. Kalia watched as the space around them erupted in a brilliant display of energy and destruction. The clash of ships echoed in her mind, a chaotic symphony of war. "Enemy ships on our flank," one of the guards shouted, pointing at the tactical display. "Adjust our position," Kalia ordered, gripping the console tightly. "We can't let them surround us." The ship shuddered as it maneuvered to evade enemy fire. Jake worked alongside Kalia, coordinating the defense and relaying commands to the fighters. "We've got incoming," he shouted. "Brace for impact." The ship rocked violently as enemy fire struck its shields. Kalia felt her heart race, the adrenaline coursing through her veins. They were outnumbered, but they would not back down. "Return fire," Kalia shouted. "Target their weapons systems." The crew responded immediately, the ship's cannons firing back with fierce determination. Explosions lit up the darkness of space as beams of energy collided with the enemy vessels. Kalia's focus intensified as she scanned the battlefield. She spotted a large enemy cruiser at the center of the fleet, the Council's flagship. "That's their command ship," she said. "If we take it down, we can disrupt their coordination." "Right," Jake agreed, his eyes sharp. "I'll coordinate with our fighters to strike at that cruiser." "Make it happen," Kalia urged. The fighters swarmed around the flagship, weaving in and out of enemy fire. Kalia watched, her heart in her throat, as they launched a coordinated attack on the cruiser. Explosions erupted, but the flagship held strong, retaliating with brutal force. "Reinforcements are on the way," one of the guards announced. "Earth's fleet is joining the fray." Kalia felt a surge of hope. "We can't let this chance slip away. Keep pushing forward." The battle raged on, a chaotic dance of light and sound. As they fought, Kalia felt a bond forming with her allies, a shared determination to protect their homes. Target locked on the cruiser. Jake shouted, his voice filled with excitement. "On my mark, fire." "Ready," Kalia replied, adrenaline pumping through her veins. Now, with a deafening roar, their ship unleashed a powerful beam of energy aimed directly at the flagship. The impact was stunning, sending shockwaves through space. The cruiser shook violently, smoke and debris swirling as it began to falter. "Keep firing," Kalia shouted, her heart racing with exhilaration. "Don't let up." The enemy's forces started to waver. Kalia could see panic spreading through their ranks as their flagship was hit. She knew this was their moment to turn the tide. "Push forward," Kalia commanded. "We must not give them a chance to regroup." Their ship surged ahead, flanked by Earth's vessels. Together, they pressed the attack, targeting the remaining enemy ships. The Council's fleet, once a formidable force, was now reeling from the onslaught. But just as victory seemed within reach, a chilling voice crackled over the comms. "You dare to defy the Council?" It was the leader of the Council, his tone dripping with contempt. "You will pay for your betrayal, Princess." Kalia felt a cold shiver run down her spine. "We will not back down," she declared, her voice steady. "We fight for our worlds, and we will prevail." With renewed determination, Kalia pushed forward, rallying her allies for one final assault. They charged toward the remaining Council ships, the fierce light of battle illuminating their path. As they closed in, Kalia could see the fear in the eyes of the enemy. They had underestimated her resolve, and now they would pay the price. "Now," Kalia shouted, unleashing everything they had. The ships erupted in a symphony of explosions, the darkness of space lit up with brilliant colors. As the Council's fleet began to crumble, Kalia felt a sense of victory surge through her. They had fought valiantly, and they would not let their worlds fall to tyranny. The Council would learn the true strength of their alliance. As the final Council ship fell, cheers erupted across the comms. Kalia breathed a sigh of relief, her heart soaring with pride. They had done it. They had fought together and emerged victorious. In that moment, she realized that their alliance was not just a strategy. It was a bond forged in battle, a testament to their shared strength and determination. They had proven that unity could conquer even the darkest of threats. As they floated in the aftermath of the battle, Kalia looked out at the stars, feeling a deep sense of hope. Together, they had faced the storm and emerged stronger. "Let this be a new beginning," she whispered, a smile breaking across her face. "Together, we will protect our worlds." With the remnants of the Council's fleet scattered, Kalia knew that their journey was just beginning. They had forged an alliance that would change the course of history, and she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, side by side with her friends and allies.